In the age of today, we marry for love and other sentimental, goofy reasons. We're two consenting adults who want to spend our lives together, know each other inside and out, and fiddle-dee-dee and la-dee-da. We throw grand weddings where a woman dressed in a long white gown is walked down the aisle by her proud papa, to be given away as her mum sits in the front row and sobs into a handkerchief or scrap of lace. It's a fairy tale, a fantasy, all for the cost of tens of thousands of dollars, where you could ride off to wedded bliss with your partner and your soulmate, and every girl has been lucky to have that. Right? Wrong. Especially your name is Lucrezia Borgia. Few women can say that they've been a divorcee by 16, a widow at 19, and on her third marriage at the age of 21, 22. But she can. Why? Politics. Let's talk about the husbands of Lucrezia Borgia, or shall we call her Lucrezia Borgia Sforza D'Argona Deschi? Now, back in the day, marriages were not considered to be love matches. They were for the family and the advancement thereof. Girls, though not the preferred gender of a child to have, were the tools for said advancement, and the daughters were often, for lack of a better term, traded or sold to the highest bidder to gain favor for her family, provided that the girl was Virgo intacta, or that her hymen had not been broken and she was seemingly a virgin. Well, in 1492, Lucrezia was about 12 years old and very much a virgin, and already had been engaged to be married no less than three times, though they all fell through. Her father, future Pope Alexander VI, wanted his daughter to be married into a leading Roman family to shore up his alliances. So, he had her marry Giovanni Sforza, an illegitimate member of the Sforza family who at the time was 26 years old and a widower. The alliance was brokered by his cousin Cardinal Ascanio Sforza and Pope Alexander VI under the stipulations that she stay in Rome for a year and not bump uglies with her husband. They were married by proxy, in other words, through representatives, on June 12th of that year, with Lucrezia coming with a dowry of 31,000 ducats, or approximately $4.6 million in today's money. For 2 years they lived together in holy matrimony until, well, his services were no longer needed. The Sforza family were by this point, shall we say, lacking political relevance and clout. Initially, the plan was to kill Giovanni, but Lucrezia allegedly received word and told him, so he fled. Eventually, he was served with annulment, and to say he didn't take it well was quite an understatement. The grounds of the annulment was that he was impotent, which as a man could be also slightly damaging to one's reputation. For his part, he spread word that they were to be divorced because Lucrezia was doing the wild thing with her father and her brother Cesare. The Pope, seemingly unbothered by this opinion that he wanted to get his freak on with his daughter, pushed forward and pressured Ascanio Sforza, the good cardinal cousin, to get on board. When it became clear that Ascanio was on the take with the Pope and that he would send any help for him if he didn't go with the plan, Giovanni relented, returned the dowry, had to sign documentation saying his marriage was invalid because he had a limp noodle and couldn't consummate the marriage. Around this time, Lucrezia was shut away in the convent of San Sisto from June to December 1497, and some have said, though it's been unsubstantiated, that she hid out because she was pregnant by a chamberlain named Parato, who met his own grisly fate being found in the Tiber River along with a handmaiden named Penthesilea. A baby was indeed born to the Borgia family, however, named Giovanni, but there's been mystery as to who his parents actually were. One bull issued by the Pope in 1501 said Cesare was the father, another said the Pope himself was. He's regarded as Lucrezia's half-brother, and he went to live with her after the Pope's death in 1503. In July 1498, Lucrezia again married. To strengthen their ties with Naples, a Neapolitan was chosen, and this one was chosen because the king's daughter Carlotta refused to marry Cesare. This model was the brother of Lucrezia's sister-in-law, Sancho of Aragon, who was married to her brother Goffredo. Sancho was also the alleged lover of both of their brothers, Giovanni and Cesare. He was Alfonso of Aragon, considered one of the best-looking men in all of Italy. This, while arranged, was a love match, and the couple seemingly really dug each other, both being around the same age. Lucrezia came with a dowry of 40,000 ducats. Within a year, they had a baby, Rodrigo of Aragon, who would die in 1512. Lucrezia was made governor of Spoleto, and all seemed well, right? Not quite. Politics changed yet again, and the Pope wanted an alliance with France, who wanted the Neapolitan throne for themselves and set off a huge war in Italy to get it. Further cementing this alliance, Cesare married a French noblewoman, Charlotte d'Albret. When France attacked Naples, the Pope stood by and allowed it to happen. Alfonso knew what time it was and fled in August 1499, leaving his pregnant wife behind. Big no-no. Now the Pope was pissed and used his daughter to bring him back to Rome, which he did come back in September. He managed to get by for a year before he was accosted on the steps of the Vatican and stabbed in the head, right arm, and leg on July 15th, 1500. His doctors, sister, and wife helped nurse him back to health for a month. Well, her brother, he wasn't quite having that, so his henchmen came in and strangled him. It was said that his death to this day is a mystery, but many salacious historians have placed the blame on Cesare and the Pope. You'd think after an annulment and being a widow, our young friend, who is now 20, would be done with marriage. But no, El Papa didn't care about that one bit. The zone he was falling in was zero F's given, and a year and a half after her second husband died, she was married again to the son of the Duke of Ferrara, Alfonso d'Este. Per the customs of the time, upon her marriage, her child from her second husband was sent away, and despite her best efforts, she never saw him again. However, her time as Alfonso's wife was busy as she put up with his affairs and his alleged contraction of syphilis. Her father also died in 1503. Cesare died in 1507 after Pope Julius II effectively ruined him, and she bore her husband 8 children: Alessandro, Ercole, Ippolito, Alessandra, Eleonora, Francesco, and Isabella Maria. As if this wasn't enough, she managed to have affairs with her sister-in-law's husband, Francesco Gonzaga, Marquess of Mantua, and the celebrated poet Pietro Bembo. However, her time as a wife was cut short. After her 10th pregnancy, she took ill and died 10 days after giving birth to her daughter Isabella, who also died. Lucrezia Borgia has often been painted as a femme fatale, a hussy, a murdering, brother-banging ingrate, but she seems to be more of a woman of her time, who did her family's bidding. She was unfairly painted in such a negative and unflattering light due to anti-Spanish and anti-Catalan bias that followed her Spanish-born family. What do you think of her story? Is she a floozy, or does she draw some sympathy? Sound off in the comments below.
Hey friends, if you like what you just saw, please remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I thank all of you for taking the time to watch me, and I thank all of you for taking the time to listen to me, and hope to see you again in the future with our next video. Well, have a great day, and be a little, Mykoniic!